Hey, welcome back to Chasing the Sun. We continue our moto travel series for our Southern California road trip. In this episode, we're going to break down and give you a full comparison of the three bikes that we brought with us. The K1300S, the R1200RS, and the Aprilia Caponord. They are all similar bikes, but oh so different. So here it is. All right, thanks for joining us again for our moto travel vlog, this time in California, Southern California. We went from Sacramento down to as far as LA. We took it easy, we didn't have an agenda. But what we did this time was we compared our three bikes, and they're similar but different because they're all kind of sport touring. Luke's got...
I have a 2010 K1300S.
I brought the 2016 R1200RS.
And I brought the 2015 Aprilia Caponord Travel.
So I'd say they're pretty comparable. 1300cc, 1200cc, 1200cc. And we compared the horsepower and the torque, right? They're all pretty much in line, I would say.
Yeah, well, except Luke's horsepower is up by 50.
Right.
Yeah. But
Eric
and I, we are 125, so
yes.
Yeah.
But you know, with the weight, we actually have the
advantage, yeah, definitely. With the weight, they have a lot of advantages. With the height, I got some serious advantage. I'm going to throw that out there.
All right. Okay, so what we did was we swapped bikes just like we did last time, and we all kind of got a feel for each other's bikes. And I'd love to just break it down, maybe one bike at a time.
Sure.
Let's do the K1300, what you liked about it, what you don't like about it. Why don't you start being the owner?
There's some things that I really love about the bike. I do love the horsepower and the torque on it. I do not like the fact that I don't have a good windshield. It's a forward riding position. It's kind of sport bike oriented. It is heavy to move the steering wheel around, but you don't really notice that on the trips that we're going. Right? I don't think that if you guys wanted to go away from me. I don't know that bike with its weight, even if I was a good rider, I don't know that I could keep up, because you guys seem to throw it around really easy. Mine, yeah, if it were solid twisties, I don't think I'd be able to jump from side to side like you guys do.
It's definitely a harder bike to do that one.
Less flexible.
For the most part, I'd say it's comfortable to ride. I do enjoy it. I do feel more connected to the road than I did on the uprights.
And the old one and
right.
the XR.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because of the
the
position,
XR,
right?
Yeah. So the position puts you down lower.
Yeah.
I do find it's easier for me to lean left, lean right, and just get around the corners.
Right. So for me, the K1300, what I liked is it's very refined. Well, I guess I like and don't like that. I have it on
you
both
guys
sides.
seem to have a problem with.
Yeah,
You
we
always
like
have
to
a problem
feel
with
the
my
character.
bikes with the very refined.
He's a
but we
refined
don't want
gentleman.
refined.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very refined. I love the seat. It's like it's just so fun, just going left and right, on and off. You know, butt cheek to butt cheek. It's just amazing. I like that part of it. I like the sport bike stance. I don't know if I would like it for a long trip, but for the twisties, very nice. What I didn't like is probably the refinement too. Like you don't have that, like the V-twins, you don't have that feeling of the bike.
That grunt. That
Yeah. So that goes in both categories for me. Actually, I like the brakes. I'd say
The brakes on those that is crazy.
Yours has the best brakes. Given that it's the heaviest bike, I felt it the most.
Yeah,
That says
like it'll
something
stop
to
on a
brakes.
dime.
Yeah, so that's really nice.
It's just not on ice apparently.
But other than that, I don't. Oh, you know, the windshield is probably one thing. I don't like.
Yeah, it's my biggest complaint
On
at
the
this
highway.
point. After getting on your bike with the tall,
Yeah.
that's my biggest complaint right now. That's going to be fixed as soon as we get back.
Yeah.
Okay.
you?
I pretty much agree with Eric. I think the engine is super silky. That is like butter. You can tell being a V4, an inline 4 versus the V-twins, the torque's different. There is not, at the bottom there isn't much, but then it's so smooth everywhere, right? From leaving in first gear, it's buttery smooth. I like that. I like the seating position. I was surprised. I actually liked it more than I thought I would. I thought I'd be too far stretched.
Yeah,
But
compared to your bike, right?
Yeah, compared to my bike, it's way
Going from
different.
your
And
bike.
I must say I did like it. It actually is not uncomfortable. Windshield, yes, on a long trip, I definitely would need a higher, taller windshield for more wind. If it were my bike, I probably would put higher bars on just to see. I think that would make it a bit more relaxed. What I do like about Luke's bike is the whole the looks, the side profile, the fairings.
Yes,
everything.
more,
Is,
but-
it
On the looks department,
it
I
looks
would give
very
that the best.
tucked and tight. It looks like a tight bundle of muscle.
Yeah, it's a beautiful design.
But it's fat. I noticed that though too.
No,
Yes.
but you know, it's not fat like the RT, where
Yeah.
it's just like bulky and ugly. It's fat, very chiseled, very streamlined.
It's very
Yeah.
It's just a snug looking,
nice look.
low looking bike. It means business. It looks mature and it means business. So
Yeah,
I
it's a
do
gentleman's
like. I do
bike.
like. Actually, the looks out of the three bikes, I think yours is the best.
I think so too,
Personally,
yeah.
I would like your bike the best.
Yeah, I'd say it's a gentleman's sport bike.
Yeah.
It's not like the Japanese racer boy type, right? You can tell that this is
No, none of
sophisticated,
it.
which the engine is.
Yeah.
It's appropriate there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, how about the R1200RS? I'm actually surprised how much I like it. It handles like crazy. It handles like a 750. It reminds me of my 750s. It's just, you can toss it in and around. It's very forgiving, really good torque. I can be like anywhere and I got juice on it. It's comfortable. This one, although has risers and it pulls it forward, so it works well for me, being a short guy. So the ergonomics works well for me, so I like that. What I don't like about it would be the brakes. I wish it got more bite. Both their bikes have better brakes. So I want to look into that. And what else? I think that's it. Like everything else, I really like it. It's new to me. This is my first ride with it, but I'm looking forward to throwing around a lot
And to
more.
be fair, it's new to you, your first ride, but you've done about 1,500 kilometers.
Yes.
So you
Yeah,
should
that's
have
true.
a fairly good idea. As to,
Yeah, I felt like out of the three bikes, I felt I felt the most confident in my bike doing the twisties and everything that we've done this trip. So.
Okay. Okay, Eric's bike. These engines, I just love them. I love everything.
Yeah.
Even the sound with the stock exhaust is nice and throaty, and it handles well. It's nice and low. Eric's bike is lowered. I think it's lowered.
There's
actually.
a lowered seat.
It's nice and low. It's really good for me being a short guy. Like that, like the seating position. Again, was surprised how comfortable that was. Didn't like the quick shifter. I found that too clunky.
Oh yes, that's
It wasn't
right.
it's not
One
as
and
smooth
two.
as loops. It's okay, but if you are under full load, shifting up, it's very like it really ramps that gear in, and didn't like that. Handling is fantastic. These bikes, however they do it with that boxer engine, the weight's so low, they feel like a 600. You take them off the side stand and it just feels light. So like that. Looks is awesome. I always like these bikes. Yeah, that bike would be actually very high on my bike list actually of bikes to own.
All right.
On my end, the reason I want a new windshield is actually riding Eric's bike because
Windshield envy.
like I'm literally sitting upright on this bike, and it's a lowered bike and everything. I'm not feeling anything. Like you wouldn't believe how freeing it is to be able to lean your head left and right to look around at stuff and not have the wind try and push you off your bike. So there's that. I agree with Yorick on the quick shift. Going from first to second and second to third, it surges for a split second. And I'd love to say maybe it's your bike or the
Hopefully
quick
it's
shift.
just that one. I'm not sure.
I had the S1000 with the quick shift, and
It was nice.
it was smooth. And I have the K1300S with the quick shift, and it was fantastic. So the rest of it, I didn't get to ride it for a lot because we hit snow, and I felt like just in case we hit snow, I didn't want to drop Eric's bike, which probably we should have done today. But on the other hand of it, though, the riding I did with it, it's nimble, it's quick. It's like there's a bias to this. It's a lowered bike, so for me it feels a little bit odd. It's got a different riding position than yours. It's got a significantly different riding position than mine.
More sporty.
Yeah.
Like feet are more tucked in.
Yeah. So
Tucked up, I should say.
the riding position isn't uncomfortable. I feel like it would be better for me if we made some adjustments to it. But that being said, the motors, even from the point where you start the motor and you feel the bike do this,
Yeah, that boxer.
when the pistons kick in, it's all character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lovely.
And it is lovely. And I've had the first generation of his bike. I had the R1200R back in the pre-2000. And even back then, that motor was just, the boxer engine is just rock solid, right?
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right. So your Caponord.
Caponord, okay, I am still trying to figure out my windshield. I've put on a touring windshield that's a little taller, and I find I have almost more buffeting than with the original, which was narrower and lower. But what I figured out on this trip is below the windshield is air supposed to come up the fairing behind the windshield and push the turbulence over the helmet, and that seems to not work. So what I ended up doing is I put a riding glove into that slot to stop the air from flowing entirely, and that made a big difference. That quieted my helmet vibration down a lot.
That's
and
good to know.
made it quieter. So when I get back, I will see if I can have a wind deflector or something
Right
inside to see if I can make it even better. But that's sort of one of those, if you start using aftermarket parts, you might have to
Yeah.
tinker a little and find the sweet spot.
Right.
Riding position for all day long rides, I would prefer my Caponord.
So, too.
It's the knee angle is the most open. I'm sitting basically completely upright on my bike, so that's really comfortable. It's got cruise control, the only bike with cruise control here. Love that. That is nice. And yeah, otherwise, torque is wonderful. The 125 horsepower, that's plenty. I think
It's
I
used
never
well,
feel
yeah.
I never feel I need more. So yeah, no, it's good. What the downside of having this upright and open knee angle is it's very tall. I think it's the tallest bike of the three. So for me as a short guy, I'm always tiptoeing either side, left or right. Be nice if it could be lower, but then you can't have both.
Yeah, so for your bike, I love the riding position. Like that, like York says, is an all-day bike. It's similar to my old Hyperstrada. It's just like I can be on that thing all day. So I really like that. I like the twin. I love the sound of the Aprilia. Reminds me of my Tuono. It's maybe Aprilia's got it tuned right, but the sound is perfect. I love the feel of the V-twin. I like the brakes. What I didn't like was this. See, it's hard to explain. In corners, I can toss his bike in pretty easily, and it corrects very easily, but almost too easily. I'm not sure what that is. It's maybe, compared to mine, I can toss it in, but it's very stable through the turns, whereas yours feels like if I twitch a little bit, it kind of goes offline.
Goes too far.
Yeah, so maybe it's too easy in that sense. But I did play with the suspension, and we adjusted it to two passengers, so it's stiffer, and that helped a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's probably the only small gripe I would have about it, but otherwise it's a great bike.
On my end, I sat on it, and to me, it's like riding an enduro. Like it's the way that my knees sit on it, the way that I sit on it, the way the handlebars are on it, and it's like you say, it's twitchy, but it's very agile.
Okay, so what were you saying?
Sorry for that interruption. We ran out of battery on the GoPro.
So we're on another camera.
We're on another camera.
So it uses its 125 horsepower really well. It feels like an enduro. Like it is twitchy. Like it's easy to turn. But like Eric says, if you're gonna correct or anything like that in the middle of the turn,
I think it could use a steering damper. I don't know
That might
why
help.
it doesn't have it, for a bike that size.
So yeah, but other than that, I liked it. I could see how you would want to ride it all day long because it is easy, it is forgiving, it is relaxing. It would be something that I'd like to have on long trips.
Alright, so here, I'm going to throw out some categories and you guys rate the 3 bikes 1, 2, 3. I think that would be fun.
1 to 3, isn't so where like our
Which one's
for the
first,
bike.
which one's second, which one's third?
Got it.
Let's talk, let's talk riding comfort. So for me, I put his first, mine second, and the K third.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well.
Yeah, and I would do exactly the same. Yeah.
What else? Handling, handling.
I would go yours first, the
R1200RS.
RS, yeah. Then second would be
Tough.
probably Luke's.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
Okay. How about braking? I'd give yours first, second for the Caponord, and then third for the my R.
I agree with that.
Agreed. Same.
Okay.
Yeah. Cost.
Cost.
Of ownership.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
cost of ownership. Cost of ownership. Don't buy an Aprilia. The valve job on my bike cost me about $2,000. It'll cost Eric about $150 for the same job.
Engine, right?
But you can just do it yourself.
Yours might be not cheap.
I had it done last time. So the last service I did,
What
for
did you spend?
everything, including removing changing the spark plugs,
Yeah.
came to $1,000. But
Okay, so-
changing the spark plugs involves removing the entire cooling system because it's
Well,
behind the
same
radiator.
with my bike. My bike, because the rear cylinder sits underneath everything, tank, airbox, has to be completely taken apart. So it's not very mechanic friendly.
Okay. And then power? How would you rate the 3 bikes?
It's hard for me to say.
Tough one, right?
I like mine for 1, but I think that yours for 2 because yours just seems to have it whenever I put the throttle down.
Yeah.
But I think that when I get to the rev range that I like on my bike, then it gets up there.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I would agree. I don't feel the 50 extra horsepower that his bike has.
That's
it
what I
does seem
noticed.
like yours just gets onto it much
Yeah.
faster.
But I think that might come into play if you were to go like really fast, 180 or 200. Your bike will still have some left.
Yes,
when
at the
we
top
will
speed.
run out of speed.
Yeah.
Our advantage is the torque. I think we
Yeah.
have the nice.
I would say for 50 horsepower more, and me being a lighter guy, I was
Yeah.
actually disappointed. Because on my bike, it feels like I've got more power. Like, it just feels like it.
Yeah.
But on Dyno, I'm sure he's got more power.
It's that torque.
Is it the torque?
It's the
Yeah.
torque.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like it's yours, like I said, the Caponord just feels like it's on.
I think my bike and the Caponord seems very similar. But I'd say mine's first because it feels like I have more of a power band. It feels like anywhere I can just toss it
Yeah,
and goes.
it's very refined. Your boxer is very
Yeah.
refined, and
Yeah. So that's interesting. That's 3 bikes, 3 different engines completely, but very similar purpose, right? Because anyone in the market for a sports touring type would be looking at these 3
any
bikes.
one of those bikes would work.
would work really well. Yeah.
They
Okay, so that's our breakdown of the 3 bikes, similar but very different. So I hope you like that. If you do, hit the subscribe button and also leave comments if you have these bikes and you disagree or have your own input. We'd love to hear it.
Okay, time for a beer. Good night, guys.